Red Voyage News splashing the check-in. Thank you for tuning in. And today we are talking about a fashion designer by the name of Alexander Wang. Now, like I said, Alexander Wang is a fashion designer. At one point in time, he was a creative director at Balenciaga. He has a joint partnership deal. He has a joint partnership deal with H&M. He has more than 700 stores worldwide with an annual turnover of approximately 130 million US dollars. So this guy is pretty successful. However, there's been some serious allegations that have been thrown his way right after his birthday. So his birthday was December 26th, and people took to social media to, wish him a happy birthday. His close associates, business partners, people that work for him, they took to social media to wish him a happy birthday. But alongside with that was a sexual assault allegation while his birthday was trending, as well as his sexual allegation was trending as well. Now, Mr. Alexander Wang, he's known for being like a party animal, throwing these parties. And a lot of these victims that are coming out, they're saying that they have been attacked by Wang at these parties. Now, this isn't the first time he's faced, a harsh allegation. Back in 2012, there was a $50 million lawsuit against Alexander Wang for running a sweatshop in Chinatown, Manhattan. That was back in 2012. So 8 years later, there are people coming out saying that, okay, he groped me, he drugged me. I mean, there were several articles of people saying that this guy touched them, allegedly put MDMA in their drinks. One model by the name of Owen Mooney, okay? Now, Owen Mooney wrote this on a social media page. He said, "I was in a club in NYC 2017 waiting to watch a performer. I had been separated from my friends and no one could move because the club was so packed with people. The person next to me took advantage of the fact we were unable to move, so I was trapped next to him and he started to stroke my leg and groping my crotch. I froze still because I was in shock. And when I turned to look who it was, I was even more shocked to see it was Alexander Wang. I didn't say anything, which I regret, but I just had to slowly move myself away from him. Later on, in a different part of the club, his friend pushed him into me to get my attention like we were in a school playground. He began to throw his hands around me and hang off me. I was too polite and said hi, but again, just wanted to get away from him. The reason I spoke out almost 4 years later was because I was made aware of others much worse sexual. This is what he wrote, okay? Was because I was made aware of other much worse sexual assault he has made, and people need to be aware that he is a huge predator in the fashion industry. There are too many predators in fashion using their power to abuse and manipulate people. And since Shit Model Management, that's the name of the management company, Shit Model Management, have shared my story, even more stories about Wang have surfaced. So the more he is called out for his outrageous actions, the sooner they'll stop. So if you go to the Shit Model Management page on Instagram, they have over 236,000 followers. There were a lot of accusers that wanted to remain anonymous. Excuse me. There were a lot of victims who wanted to remain anonymous, and they wanted to share their side of the story with Shit Model Management. That's a crazy name for a management company. All right. One person said, my friend did a modeling job and Alexander Wang was there. They ended up partying together and he kept offering my friend drinks, even though he didn't want to drink that much, but he wanted to be polite and ended up getting pretty drunk. The next thing he remembers is being in a room with Alexander Wang, and he had taken off his pants and was making him touch him and was trying to make him give him a blowjob, even though he was straight. And he told him he was straight. My friend was barely coherent, but he ended up pushing him away and walked out of the door. He has been scarred ever since. Another person wrote, Alexander Wang is absolutely known for these things you're posting. One friend of mine who is a trans man was in a limo for an after party with him a while ago. Upon getting inside the car, they were given water and they felt uneasy about the whole thing because Alex was making sure they all finished their water. A few moments after, they noticed they were rolling and had been given Molly water. This was a regular occurrence because a year after being told this story, I also heard other people confirm that they also got drugged on the way to an after party. Most of them left obviously because they were unknowingly on a lot of MDMA. Another person wrote, he raped my friend because what? I guess that's his name. He raped my friend because Ty pressured him to go there and have sex with him, even though my friend isn't gay. Another person wrote, after seeing your stories, I want to add my voice to the many so that Alexander Wang is exposed for the monster he is. Once after a show, he did the same Molly water trick on me. I didn't know at the time because I'm bipolar, and the Molly sent me into a manic episode followed by psychosis. His smug prank literally put me in the hospital for weeks and ruined my career. Still, in some horrible way, I'm grateful that I had to be admitted to a psych unit that night, because who knows, that would have happened had things gone as he'd planned. Another person wrote, this sounds like my encounter with him at Bedlam on Avenue C. A few years ago, he picked me out randomly and wanted to buy me shots, then really pressured me to drink out of his huge bottle of vodka he was toting around. The memory is a bit blurry, but I remember being dragged, like tugged out of the bar to his taxi. I can't remember anything else from the night, but remember waking up in his bed, being so confused, and he had taken my pants off and had his head down there. I had no idea where or who this was until I saw his face. I woke up so stunned and confused, and with a gash between my brows from the bottle he hit me with while forcing me to drink the night before. It was so scary waking up there very lost. It happened in 2015. He threw a party at the Rah Rah Room for his new store in London. My friend worked at the store, so I got an invite to attend. This person goes on to say, I was introduced to him and he took a liking to myself and a few other guys because we were dancing, having a very fun time. We ended up staying very late and he invited a couple of us back to his hotel room. Anyway, he became very sexually aggressive and forceful when I declined his offer to go to his hotel room, especially as I had seen him and a few others taking drugs and getting high. Another person said a few years back, him and a friend went to an event. Then Alexander Wang tried to get him to go to an after party. He went along anyways, thinking, it was harmless. But Alexander Wang got very aggressive and made him drink Molly water some more, tried to take his clothes off, and the guy left the apartment. Another person goes on to say he roofied two of my friends in 2014. And the stories just go on and on and on. All right. The stories just go on and on about this guy targeting male models, drugging them and taking advantage of them sexually. And this is something that we need to talk about. Nobody has a problem with somebody who's gay or openly gay. That's not the issue here. If Alexander Wang was a heterosexual man and he was doing this to women, they would have probably thrown him in jail by now. But when men are getting groped, men are being sexually targeted by other men, it's not really taken that serious. To the public, it's almost laughable to a certain degree. You can arguably say that Mr. Alexander Wang is probably, they said this is a very famous fashion designer. He probably has plugs. He's a big wig in the game. He's probably, pretty powerful. So even for one person to come out and make an accusation like that, a lot of people aren't going to stop the money train, just for that one accuser. Nobody's probably going to believe him. They're going to ask, where were you? Person's probably going to say, hey, I was at a club, and it's like, hey, what type of club was it? Things like that happen at clubs. So, I just don't think these stories would have been taken serious if it was just one person who came out about it. And, these accusations that came out for years. And these were people who were models, trying to make their way throughout the industry. And I don't know how the fashion industry looks at models. Like, hey, obviously the designer is the creator. They're the brains behind the fashion. But, you know, models, they just might be, hey, you know, anybody can just get a new model. They might look at them as like, hey, they're just low tier foot soldiers for the industry. And it seems like when a male is accusing another male of such atrocities, it's like, you know, it just falls on deaf ears, especially when it comes to sexual assault. You know, it's even like that for men and women. When a man accuses a woman of sexual assault, that falls on deaf ears. But when a woman accuses a man of sexual assault, everybody rushes to her rescue. So what do you think about all this? Let me know in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, comment, share this video. If you want to support the channel, you can click on my Buy Me a Coffee link in the description box below and support the channel that way. Check you out on the next video.